Hurry and like the video, or due to an issue, Epic will remove your favorite gun from Fortnite. Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your guy Cameron here once again, and last week I did a poll on my channel just asking you guys which pro player you guys would like to see settings and general how-to tips on how to play like some of these top performing players, and it was overwhelmingly decided that FaZe Mongraal was going to be the subject of our next settings guide and how-to video. FaZe Mongraal, as you guys might know, is one of the top performing best Fortnite professional players that you can find, is one of the best, if not the best, EU players in all of Fortnite. For the first tip, your keyboard definitely has to be a lot louder than your actual microphone voice. I'm going to give you guys the breakdown now on what to expect. There's going to be 3 different tips in 3 different sections. Okay, we're going to first go over out of game settings, like video settings, what his peripherals are, just general things like that, so it kind of gives you insight on how he plays. So we're going to look at like what keyboard and mouse and some other things that he uses. The second part is everything in games. We're going to tackle his keybinds, his sensitivity, all the other in-game sort of settings. And for the last part, we're gonna look at his game sense. So this ties everything in from his mindset, how he practices, and different ways he kind of looks at the game outlook wise that kind of makes him the beast that he is. So first thing I'm doing is I just want to show you guys my mouse settings, because the DPI, you'll want to set that to about 800, which is what he uses for X and Y. I noticed most pro players usually use either 400 or 800. So he uses 800. And also he has this polling rate as 1000 hertz. It's just the fastest refresh rate for the mouse to make sure it's I guess as quick as possible. So those are about the only 2 settings you really need to make sure on any mouse that you're using. Mongraal uses the Logitech G402, which is pretty good mouse. It has a lot of buttons. I think it has like 8 or 9 additional buttons other than just the 2 left and right clicks, which is on every mouse basically, right? So I also just wanted to go over his gear, because his gear is it's on the high end, so this doesn't matter as much, so don't fret if you guys don't have thousands of dollars to spend on gear. But he does use a 240 hertz monitor, which is the fastest you can get for like a refresh rate. Well, actually, I think there's a 360 hertz monitor now, but doesn't matter. He uses like the highest refresh rate monitor. He uses the SteelSeries Apex Pro TKL, pretty high-end keyboard too. It's for like $100, but it's really good. He's pretty much maxed out spec-wise with his PC. A 9900K 2080 Ti. Most people aren't going to have like this amount of money to spend on gear, but it is at least worth mentioning because it does mean he can play at the highest level possible. There's just some extra nice perks. All this, by the way, is courtesy of prosettings.net. They regularly update these settings depending on when players change or move certain items. So like if he switched out a mouse, this would update, which is really cool. The other out of game settings I wanted to tackle is he plays with his keyboard sideways. I think it's like, yeah, he plays with it like this. And I guess the entire reason that he plays with it like this is it gives his mouse even more room to move around. All right, so it just gives him more surface area, which he plays on kind of a lower sensitivity. So being able to have extra room for your mouse is actually very helpful. He also uses the claw formation with his mouse grip, which he has his middle finger over the scroll wheel. This allows him to always be able to reset builds. It also allows him to hit his DPI buttons. We'll jump into his keybinds later, but those DPI buttons he uses with his middle finger are used for really fast, effective editing. I think he uses it for his floor, so that is also a nice tip. If you have DPI buttons and a scroll wheel in the middle, it might be worth at least trying out the claw grip, having a middle finger and on the middle scroll wheel and DPI, and having your ring finger on the right click. I actually use that grip, and I changed it recently because of pro players using it, and I thought it actually is super nice once you get used to it. Super helpful. Guys, don't worry too much about the way you have your keyboard oriented too much. It just gives you, in the end, you know, more room for your mouse, which, if that's something that you're comfortable with, having your hand sideways like this, you know, go for it. Jump in and do it. But if not, I mean, don't worry about it too much. You're still going to function well with it this way. You just have a little bit less, you know, mouse room. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be showing you guys his sensitivity for his mouse as well as his scoping sensitivity. I already went ahead and just changed my mouse sensitivity to what he's using. He uses 5.8 for both X and Y. He uses 33% targeting sensitivity. Scope sensitivity is 33%. I will mention that if you have a lower DPI, if you have 400, just double this. So just make this 5 or make this like 11.6 for the X sensitivity and Y sensitivity. Just because if you have lower DPI, you'll have to, you know, change this in regards to that. My initial feelings about this sensitivity is that it's pretty low compared to what I would play on. I usually play about like 20 or 30% faster. I've gotten used to faster sensitivities, but this is still a really good sense, so I recommend trying it out. Alright, so the next part I'm going to share with you guys is his keybinds. They're actually very interesting. I'm not using all these keybinds right now myself, but I have tried them all out. The first thing I want to show you guys is his wall, floor, and stairs is all on his mouse. He uses mouse button 5, which is this, I'll show you guys, this one up here. So on your left side of your mouse, if you guys have your forward and back buttons here, he uses the forward one as his wall, basically. And he uses his stairs for the one right behind it on the left side of the mouse. So that means, I mean, at his thumb, he has already access to half his builds. Super handy. I recommend settings like this because it saves your hand so much time by not having to have extra keys you have to hit on your keyboard. And it's just really good. And his floor he uses as his DPI button, which is up here. It's located right at the top, right in front of his scroll wheel. That is also super nice. That's a nice way to do it. I use my DPI button as use. So like whenever I pick up guns or pick up shields or enter vehicles, I use that one right there. But that's a smart way of doing it as well. So he already has 3 out of 4 of his builds on his mouse. The only one he uses is left shift on his keyboard, which he always has a resting pinky on his roof. So that's all of them with very minimal effort he has as his keybinds for building. Let's look at his traps. His trap is C. Just uses this one right here. He actually moved crouch from C to left control over here. So that's also very accessible to the pinky. So it's pretty smart to do it that way. Inventory is default left alt. Map is M. For his reload and rotate, he has this reload as a mouse wheel button, clicking it in, and his rotate as 5. For building edit, he just uses F. That's basically what I want to say the majority of professional players uses F. It's smart. It's right next to your index finger at all times. He does not play with confirm edit on release, meaning he just confirms and edits with the building edit F. He uses harvesting tool with Q, weapon slot 1 is 2, weapon slot 2 is E, weapon slot 3 is R, weapon slot 4 is 4, weapon slot 5 is X. Those are all very accessible to his index finger. I think 4 out of 5 of those he just hits with his index finger, with the exception of 2. He would use his ring finger to hit. So that's smart because, I mean, his middle finger will always be on W key, so you can always effectively W key while switching to any of his weapon slots. So that's the majority of it, guys. We just went ahead and tackled all of his settings in-game, his keybinds, editing, building, shooting, movement. Other than that, guys, we're going to dive now into his game sense and how he's able to be the beast that he is. So one of the things that are really cool about Mongraal is he's just a very eccentric, energetic guy. He just has that belief that whatever gunfight he's in, he's going to win it. That's very important for a professional player, to be at your best game possible and to have that belief that you're going to be able to make it in every single battle that you're in. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up, is just that belief. So when you're trying out these settings, give yourself some time. You're not going to be the best right away, and it does take a lot of time to finesse these settings. But once you can harness the real power of these settings, because you guys will technically have optimal binds, the more you'll get from it, the more you'll learn. Like I said, you're not going to need to copy all of his settings pound for pound, but it's important to at least, you know, see what the professionals are doing on why they're successful, and why that works well for them. Before I go, guys, I'm going to share with you guys some awesome clips I got while playing on FaZe Mongraal's settings. I've been playing on his settings for about a week now, and actually got some really awesome stuff. But until next time, I hope these settings really helped you guys out. If you guys really enjoyed the video, it'd mean a lot if you considered subscribing and also liking the video. Peace out for now. Air pickaxe him.
17!
No!
Babe! Hurry, get him!
I know.
They're both 117. Babe, he did like 4 of them for 117. Get Italian.
Nice. Fucking back, baby.
Oh,
I fucking like this.
Holy crap.
Legendary. Oh. He's looking for heals on our bodies. I have them though. I have fornite kits, and there's the chug.
I'll put that chug.
No, he's up. Babe, he's up now. He went all the way up.
Nice.
Oh my gosh!
Oh. Damn, bro. Oh! One more guy. Wait, what? Ooh! Yeah, he did right.
Grappler, get the grappler! You have no more rockets in your thing!
There's a med kit below you, bottom ground.
So bad. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, right there.
There's a solo somewhere.
Oh, be careful then. The night kid first.
Ooh!
Oh, shake him down. Oh, he's right there.
Ooh!
They were bad.